Hey guys, J77 here doing a live video vlog. Just want to get my face out there because I haven't done one like this in a while. But this was a very important one, so I felt why not. It's involving Jay Z, Bradley, the whole situation that has been having widespread news media coverage, not to mention widespread anger towards how Bradley has been treating their minority customers, especially those who have made the news in the last few months, few weeks, a few days. And this has gotten to the point where now Jay Z is in the middle of this, and there is a outright cry to him to actually sever ties with with the store on Barney's. Now, in case you guys don't know or haven't got the news, Barney has been in a uh, huge negative media blitz lately, involving not one but two of their customers in a separate incident. Apparently, what has happened is that one of the persons who is now actually having a lawsuit against Barney's, I'm sorry, walked into the store, bought a $300 belt, and when he was walking out, he was stopped by the police. He was held and detained because of the fact that he had this belt. Um, as a result, it was pretty much obvious that he was detained for no reason at all, other than the fact is that he was black and shopping at Barney's. This is the kind of profiling that is not shocking, not new. This has happened plenty of time before. Um, from the past generations, the 60s, 70s, 80s, even go past to the 30s and 20s, and it hasn't stopped here. Bradley's, of course, denied the situation, but now a second situation happened where the same thing. Somebody came in there, bought something, a very expensive item, and as she walked out, she was stopped by the police, the similar way as this guy who was filing a lawsuit. This led to a lot of anger because now it's no coincidence that someone is calling the police officers on these individuals. And the first thing is that the media has said is that some of the store, whether it's the managers or the store workers in general, just can't fathom an African American affording their items, and they must be up to no good. They must be trying to take something. Well, apparently that was not the case. Both of them paid either by debit card or whatever kind of means they did, but they actually paid for it. And rather than let them go about their business, the cops was called, and as a result of that, they were both arrested and detained. Now, Barneys have actually released a statement. They have said that they are looking into it, even hiring someone to better deal with the situation. But the point is, this is not a coincidence. This is twice this happened, and twice happened to of African Americans, and now it's gotten to the point where people are start reading mad because it's obvious of what's going on, and it goes back to pretty much the typical racial profiling. When it comes to these kind of situations, either A, we're lazy, we don't want to work, we are just trying to live off the system, or B, how can he can afford this? What job he has that actually can afford this high luxury item that we have, and as a result, we have that situation where if you walk in the store, there's a good chance you're being looked upon, and will be questioned even though you haven't done anything, and even if you even bought the item. I'm gonna give one advice on the situation if this ever comes to anyone, but I'm gonna leave that for now. But I'm gonna just explain this. Barney's is one of those high uppity stores. They're not gonna have anything that's either 19.95 or $5. They can range anywhere from 70 to almost $1,000. That's how expensive their stuff is. People who go there knows this. People who know these stores know you're not gonna spend. You're gonna spend large. Or it's gonna hit your wallet. It's gonna hit your wallet hard. So make sure you come in here with a lot of bread. The same thing goes with FAL Swartz, Tiffany's. These two places, they are very very expensive. So they're also very protective of their property. But besides the point is, you're not going on in there if unless you're willing to spend a good hefty price for a T-shirt, and their T-shirts are just ridiculous. These people didn't know that. They obviously did because they went in there, they knew what they was going after, and they bought the items. The problem is that the store owners who was there, or the people who was there, didn't fancy them spending the money. And because of that, and because of what's Jay Z's connection to it, it brought him to the spotlight. Now Jay Z is due to release some brands of his own in that store. They range from 80 to even $500. Um, this is something that a lot of people are very not too happy about, and has actually been pretty much demanding Jay Z to sever ties with them. They've been doing it on Twitter. They've been putting pressure on him on Facebook. Any social sites you see, they're really trying to put pressure on him. And the fact that he's not been saying anything about this doesn't really help matters either, because a lot of people feel like he sold them out, especially with some of the asking price he's asking for his line of clothes and other accessories that he's going to be selling at Bradley's. Uh, this is my opinion on this matter, and I'm just saying this is my opinion. You don't have to agree with me, but this is my opinion. I feel that JC needs to say something. He needs to say something, whether people will like it or not. He needs to clear the air on this, because just simply by ignoring it, especially towards your fans who actually feel they put you where you are today, um, you need to actually address that, especially since this has not happened not once but twice. This is twice this has happened, and it doesn't sound like it's actually that the relationship hasn't improved. There's still people in this store who still is profiling minorities going into the store, particularly African Americans. Um, this has now reached the news. This has reached the media, and it's not gonna just basically fade away. One have to take serious actions on this. Now, do I feel that he should sever ties? In my feeling, if this continues on and if they're not going to make the adjustments, then I think it'd be best he does. But if, as a business perspective, if he don't, I can live with that. That's fine. But he also got to live with the consequences that maybe people won't buy his stuff no more. Maybe people won't buy his album no more. Maybe people won't even pay attention to him anymore. And this is something that he needs to understand. His fans have always had and always will be the urban youth. Those are the people who is buying his records, buying his albums, and those are the people who are not happy about it, because they do look up to him. They do see him as a big influence towards the urban media, and that's something that Jay Z needs to realize quick. Now, Fox Business News had a good debate on this, and I will leave a link on it, because this is actually one of their better debates they had. Because in a business perspective, you're hearing both sides of the coin. So one said, why is he being labeled? Well, I already explained why he's being labeled, and why not Gap, and why not all other stores. Jay Z products is targeted towards the urban community, towards the African American community. That is one of the main reasons, and that is one of the main reason only why they are looking at him more than anything else. Um, there's also a situation where they felt that his item is mature and he needs to not make it as be a personal item, and I agree with that personally, as well as what some of the other people from both sides are saying. But the point is, he needs to say something, okay? Whether the people will like this decision or not, he still needs to say something. By keeping quiet, it doesn't. It's only going to make things a little bit worse. And I feel he needs to say something to basically ease the burden of this pressure that he's getting, because he's getting a lot of pressure, and for something that everybody have to admit is very serious. This is not the first time that Barneys have been in the news for this. This is the second time, and I never forget the first post, and even the post reminded us. The post and the Daily News had the following head articles: "Stop for being black," and they did it with the same thing, only they put two on there. So this is something that is an issue, and even though Barneys is denying that they are racially profiling, they cannot deny that. Hey, somebody made that police call. Police didn't just came out of the blue. Somebody's making a call, and somebody's making a call for a reason. And even they have to say, yeah, we got to look into this. We got to push to make sure this doesn't continue, because they did acknowledge that, hey, we're embarrassed by the situation. We're looking into the situation. Jay Z, I'm not gonna fault Jay Z on this. I think that's the one thing I want to make sure I make it clear. He's a businessman. He made a business decision. Again, this is not the but again, it's not the first time that Jay Z has been involved with something like this before. When Bradley's first opened, he had a concert there. There were metal detectors. When Barbara Streisand had his concert, not only 2 days later, there was no metal detectors, and people saying, "Hey, what's going on here? Why are you only putting metal detectors for a certain group of people, but not others?" And Barclay Center got in trouble for that. So this is no different than this one. Only difference is that yeah, this is his name is definitely branded on this more because he's trying to sell items that are expensive, and the people who's going to buy his item is mostly African Americans. So yeah, they're like, how can you first of all, you're pricing it 300% more than what that prior was, and even if we go to the store, they're probably afraid to go in that store because a they may risk going to jail because some idiot called the cops on them on an item which they pay for. So this is something that he needs to seriously address, as well as talk to Bradley himself and find out what the hell is going on, and if this is going to continue to be a problem because this is not a coincidence. This is not something that's an isolated incident. This is something that's going on. I do believe that there are people in there, whereas the managers or the employees, who are racially profiling people going in their stores. Okay, there's no question about this. There's no way around it. And no, this doesn't shock me at all because, like I said, this happened in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, 70s, 80s. It's still happening now. So this is not surprising at all. I will give one bit of advice to everyone who's looking at this video. One strong advice here: when you purchase an item, not just from Barneys, but from everybody else, in general, always, always, I can't stress this enough, hang on to your receipt. So in case you do get stopped by the police and they ask you how did you get this stuff, you can simply say, well, it just came out from this store. This is my receipt. This is the time and date, whatever. If you want, we can go back into the store and actually talk to the cashier who actually who I paid the item to. Problem solved. Your receipt is your first evidence right there. If they're not convinced, so simply go to the just simply go to the back of the store and say, hey, look, this officer wants to know where I got this from. Can you kindly tell him that I bought it from the store and I pay it back? By losing your mind and getting upset and cursing out the police, it's not going to make anything better. It's going to make things worse. So rather than just not go forward in a situation, look, this is my receipt. This is what I paid for. This is the number. This is the price. That's the item that's got in my purse, and that's it. Always hang on to your receipt. That's your proof of purchase and also that can actually get you out of a situation that you're probably being accused of that you have no idea in the first place. So that's something, a bit of advice I have for that. I will leave links to some of the reports that you guys decide yourself. As for Jay-Z, I have no beef with him. I think that he's a good businessman, and I'm pretty sure that eventually he will make the business decision, which I can only ask for. But I don't think by keeping quiet and letting this thing play through like he's doing is the way to go. He needs to talk. He needs to say something, especially when some of the people in the media are saying that he's acting like a hypocrite because he has fought something against this in the past. But when it comes to his bottom line, he seems to want to be away from the spotlight. This is unfortunate. This is part of the business. It's part of the game. When something like this arises, and especially where it can actually threaten your bottom line, because this is where it comes down to. This can actually threaten him and threaten to ruin him in the long run if for doing anything else, because to them, the urban community is saying, why should I shop with him? He sold us out. So he needs to really address that. But I'll let you guys give me an opinion on that. Until then, this is J77 saying take care, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon.